everyone can now start using MCPs. Actually, it was silently already uh, up there for everyone since morning, but yeah, we officially launched now. It's all over our social, so it would be great if people give a like and share it. But yeah,
That's very
bye,
exciting.
Jan.
Great. Thanks so much, Avra. Right, so let's get into it. I'm just going to share my screen. So yeah, during this session, what I'm going to be doing is running you through the template, which is now live for everybody. So we're going to navigate how to find that on the Databutton website. I'm also going to go through some best practice kind of tips and tricks on how to build your own tools that can be used by your MCP server. And we're also going to have a little try at building one together. So some collaboration on the chat would be great if you have any ideas and thoughts. Let's see what we can make. And also very excitedly, we have a competition that we're going to run, which I'll tell you more about in just a moment. But first, let's have a little look here. So this is on Databutton's main site. You'll see a new tab. There's a great video by Viral here explaining MCP a little bit more, so you can have a look at that. And some use cases as well. So this kind of helps us to see how this MCP feature can actually provide more business solutions for our application. And if it does feel a little bit unfamiliar right now, I hope that by going through the template and showing you what it does, because I think for me that's what really helped click for me when I saw it actually working and what the outputs were. So that's the kind of aim of this session. And as we scroll down, you have an access to a template. So let's whip this up now. Let's see what happens. This will provide you with this template in your own Databutton environment. So this will now become yours once you click on that. And it contains one task, and you can just start that task. And what it's going to do is ask you for your OpenAI API key. So I'm going to take that from one of my other apps. One second. If this does this, so this has been a thing that we've seen, setting up chat requirements. Oh, it is running it, sorry. Yeah, so the expectation on this task is for it to add the OpenAI API key. So in a moment, it should ask us for the secret. It's just having a look through the file to see what's needed. Our workspace is generated. Let's see, we've got... Whilst that's doing its thing, let's have a little look at what we've got in the template. So 3 very quick steps here. So points on this app is that we can build tools. We can tell the Databutton agent here what APIs we want to build. We can test and iterate that on the playground, which I'll show you in a moment. And then deploy and connect your MCP to Claude Desktop or Cursor or your own agents. This final step, if you're very new to this, I wouldn't, maybe when you're starting, just keep everything in here and use the playground for testing. And once you feel comfortable and you've created a tool, you can then go onto the Claude Desktop, Cursor, or your own agents. This stage here is really just where the power comes in of being able to share and use your tool in multiple places, different applications. That's where the real power comes in. So now it's asking me for the key, which is great. I've got that one here. I'm going to send that. And great. So let's look at the playground. So when you click Start Building, we've got this interface here where it's just a chat interface, and you're able to see which tools are available. And when you hover over the tools, you can see it's kind of like the doc string. This is what the agent, the AI, has access to and can see. And we will go into that in a bit more detail about how to format this in a good way, how to instruct it. This is very much the model context part of model context protocol. It's being able to give this AI really good information about how to use this tool. And I have some documents that I can share with you guys. There's some resources on this that I've already uploaded to help guide you through that. So you can just hover over and see that there's particular Tools. Now let's have a look at where this is coming from. So if we go into the API, I can see that there's an API called Calculator with multiple endpoints. And when you click in, it's literally an API like you're used to seeing. And it's got multiple functions that are available. And that's really, if you think about what makes the tool is being able to have functions that the agent can execute on your behalf. So that kind of gives you an intuition to think, okay, well, what's possible here is as long as there's a function that can do something, whether it's doing a search on a database, whether it's putting information somewhere. So you could be updating Airtable, for example. This gives your agent the ability to do those tasks on your behalf. So if we go back to the playground and see, what should we ask? I don't know. Add 100 and 400. Good job I got this, otherwise I wouldn't be able to figure it out. If it says something different, then there we go. Yeah, so if we have a little look at the logs here, what you can see is it used the, where's it gone? Add endpoint. So you can actually trace that about what's happening. And that gives you an idea that especially when you're testing, to see whether it did call it or not. And so if we were to add another endpoint here, and this is the magic, and this is what I love about this, if we were just to create an API, so let's just say create, microphone's in the way, sorry. Create
Well, I just want to add one thing.
Yeah, go
the
for
logs, when you showed, that was really log if you show oneself.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. If you see the API's part, there are two things. One is the chat, other is the calculator. So those calculator are the tools which the MCP is using. And when we say MCP is nothing but we are kind of, let's say we're mocking a MCP server within Databutton right now. Ed will soon show it how to use with a client side with Claude or something else. But right now, this chat, that read-only one in Databutton, is nothing but helping us to understand how this would work within Databutton, and then we can also take it outside Databutton and work on. And that's why when the first time when L said that add 100 plus 400, there is a first call get/chat tools that started. So that's the MCP server. That sends a message to the tools, which are the calculators, the different endpoints which it is. So there's an interaction between two layers. One layer is the MCP, and then comes another layer, which is the different tools. So that's why we say that MCP are nothing but a tool which is given to like a tool given to agent, which is deciding which one to go for. And it's extremely powerful, and we'll see. Right now we're just mocking this entire thing within the Databutton environment. Soon we'll go outside Claude, and which L will show soon. But yeah, L.
Just to set the scope of that, Avra, I won't be able to demonstrate the Claude in this session. It needs a little bit more, because I would say I'm on Windows, and there's been a few challenges across all people using Windows. So we're kind of just working through that. It's not specifically Databutton. It can connect to the server, no problem at all.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm still working on that for you guys.
No, it's going to make sense.
All right.
The next sense. We can do it in the next live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm just going to add. All right, I'm going to add something here. I had to write this word down because it's a palindrome. Add a function for a palindrome checker that takes a word and checks.
Just hang on. Sorry. I think few of them are unable to see the stream. Let's see. How can we? Because I just got a message from Jay that he's trying to. Can someone confirm that if you are not able to see the stream? So Explorer says that he is not able to see. Do you guys see sharing? Yeah, let's wait a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's do this way. Let's see if we can. Maybe you stop the screen sharing again. Share it. We can try that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, I've stopped it. I would ask as well, are people on their phones, or is there a difference there? Desktop phone? Desktop, okay. Okay.
Do you guys see it now?
I've just reshared it. I'm going to stop my camera just in case that might be impacting. It might be bandwidth or something. And Baba can see it. Great. Hey, Baba.
Baba, see it?
Yep.
Don't see that. Okay. Explore. Okay. Yeah, exactly. That having issue with the stream. Let us try. Interesting. This is what exactly Jay sent me. But let me see. How can we fix this? What happens if you click on the close stream and again come back? Very odd. Because I do see it. I don't know.
I saw it come up again. It came up for me saying the stream. Experiencing reduced quality.
Now someone sees over the desktop. So I don't know. Maybe it's with the phone. I don't know. Yeah, you have to click on it actually.
So when you see that error, click on it. Lovely. Yeah?
Yeah.
Bro. Okay, so it sounds like we're back on track. That's good.
Yeah, so for Jiang, he closed the stream and then came back.
Yeah, lovely.
Right.
Okay, so what we're doing here in the chat is a very simple function. I just want to demonstrate that as soon as we add a new function, that becomes available as a tool. This thing blew my mind when I first saw it because it's. I would tell you, while this is running, building a tool for an AI agent in the traditional way without MCP, it was very difficult to get it to behave and to get it to do its thing. But as soon as you add any API in here, so at the moment I'm just adding a new endpoint, but actually what I'll show you in a moment is adding a whole brand new API, and you'll watch it immediately work. So now what we've got here, you can see straight away that our palindrome API is there, the endpoint is here, and that's all I did was just ask for a new update, a new endpoint, and now that's available. So let's see, check if the word civic is a, yeah, let's see what it's doing. So we've got the, is a palindrome, the same, yeah, lovely. So it's now being able to use that tool. And I know that was just a very simple demonstration, but you saw, this is the one thing I wanted to say, was that instantly, as soon as you add that, it then becomes available to the agent. Now, when you have your server, anyone using your MCP server will have access to tools that you release here. So this is the server that Databutton hosting is going to be able to host that endpoint for you and push it out to anywhere that's using your application. So let's see about, one thing I wanted to show you guys was, now you know that when you add an API, it automatically updates here. I've been working on a repo. It's simply one that the code health tool is in as well, so everything's together. But what this does is I'm able to sort of drop APIs, all the code for a single API here. We've got 2 examples already: read and store memories and search the web using DuckDuckGo. So let's grab this one. When you click on there, you can just literally take all of this, go back to our template. Let's add an API. Let's just call it web search. Let's add it there. Let's go back. Let's make sure the brain's reloading. I think we need to install, which is fine. 1 second. I'll put that on the docs, but 1 second, guys. There it is. Packages. So we can just add that here. Upgrade. Oh, yeah, lovely. So when we go back and it's run, we'll be able to see that particular API there. So we will have to just wait for it to install. But going back here just to take a look at what this is doing, it's literally using, say, DuckDuckGo, using that is going to have input, so the AI is able to sort of make inference about what you've said in the chat and be able to conduct that search. So when it performs the search, these are the doc strings that I was talking about. Everything here is the context that the agent has access to through the MCP. This is what helps instruct the agent on how to use it, when to use it, and if you find that your tool is not performing as you'd hoped, working through this a bit more and just making sure that it's really well structured. And I have some guides that I'll share with you guys, and I can show you in a moment, that help you to think this through and to write things correctly. And this is where the experimentation comes in, of course, as well. It's just being able to make your tool work, and then it's absolutely brilliant. So just like when you release any API, you have to provide documentation, and this is the same here. So this is what they will see, the agent will see, in order to understand how to use this particular endpoint. So if we go back here, let's see how that installation is going on. It's still installing, which is fine. The other template that we have is a read and store memories. So this one actually uses Databutton storage. So this is a really quick win for you guys of being able to utilize Databutton storage. You can see here that whatever it's capturing, it's literally putting it straight to the Databutton storage, which is within your app. So the purpose of this one was for the AI to capture any sort of user preferences, goals, relevant details about the person. So it can store and it can read. And yeah, that just gives it that capability to be able to provide a personalized response. So now we've got our perform search straight in there. So as you can see, all I did was added a new API, and immediately it's in our tool. So let's do some research on model context. Oh, did I even spell that right? Probably not. Oh, I think that's to do with the let's find out what is the weather like today in Exeter, UK. Oh, okay. I think I broke it. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be calling the tool. Maybe I need to refresh. Let's see. This is the weather like today in. I'm going to copy that. Okay, so yeah, we'll need to do a little bit of testing on this, but while we're all here, why don't we just see if we can figure this out? Let's see. So in the instructions, you've got the ability to add anything additional. So you might want to be saying here, when the user asks to research, use the perform search tool. Oops. So research. So these instructions are pretty much like what you get in your settings and custom instructions. This is very much like the first thing the agent will see, and it's core instructions, and then it will also have the context of these tools. So if you find that adding the tool itself, maybe it wasn't guiding it enough, you can always improve the instructions. So let's see where to research. I don't know, Databutton? Oh no, I don't want to say anything that's related to Databutton. What are... Oh, I don't know if that's going to trigger the other one. Okay, so we do have a little error. So, oh, no we don't, it's working. Yep, we've got it. It might just take a minute. Maybe it just took a minute to register. But now we can see that's in there. We have a response. These are also hyperlinks. So if I click on those, you'll notice that it's bringing up the search results. So we now have our search tool set up and working, which is cool. Yeah, so I'm going to just pause a moment. Has anyone got any questions at the moment about what you've seen? Is anything not clear? Or how you're feeling about it? All good so far? Oh, Baba, I can see you typing. Do you want to jump on, Baba? So we did have a session yesterday. I can see Jean's messaging as well. We did have a session yesterday where we kind of went through a little bit more about the why, and so I can show some of those slides again, just to help us get a little bit more intuition. Oh yes, yeah. Is he going to jump on stage?
Yeah. So I just want to answer this part. Why are we using MCP? Yeah, I think that's a very good question. Again, I just want to add this part. So MCP is nothing but something which is a model context protocol, which is coming from Anthropis' fantastic engineering work, which they have done. And the other thing which MCP makes it super powerful is when we when we could connect to a client side, for instance, which will come to, which L will also show in coming days, is when you can connect to our, let's say, a Claude or a cursor. When you want to work with that, mainly it works locally. When you work with that, it is something super powerful. Think of it as a particular, let's say, a framework where you have access to a number of agents, like as L showed, check health, add number, subtract number, multiply numbers. All this are tools, nothing but the tools, which which you have access via this particular MCP, let's say, server. And Sidak is also, I just asked Sidak to, if we can join in and add more context to it, and we'll also show it as a demo when L showed us how this MCP is working within Databutton using Databutton's backend. Uh, Gian will also show us how you can actually talk to, let's say, Claude over here. Let's say you're working in a Claude or you're working in Cursor. You can actually work with your agents or with your tools, which is back in Databutton. So we are hosting this MCP server, and this MCP server is interacting with a client side, which can be today your Claude as a desktop tool, or it can be with your cursor, which you're using. So this way you can leverage MCP in different use cases. We'll come to this use case in the coming days, but I think once L goes through this part, we'll also see how right now Gian is using MCP server. I think that will make it much more clearer. Yeah. L, go ahead, please.
Great, okay. Yes, so we've gone through this, and you can see how by just dropping a new or creating a new API with the agent can give you an immediate tool within the MCP server. And one thing I did want to go through, I'm just going to open up some material that I put together for you guys. It's super quick, just to give some context. 1 second. I just want to check. Are you seeing? Oh, hang on. Here we go. I can. Yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to move it over. Right. So just checking you can see my slides, and this one is, we're looking at kind of thinking about how to create a good API to be used in the MCP server. And to understand it a bit more, I did explain this earlier, but it's really like we mentioned about model context being the context given to the language model to describe how to behave and interact like a rule book. And really the AI agent is able to read the doc string, and this gives it the instructions needed in order to perform that function for you. And it's really, we'll go through the ins and outs of it, but it really explains how and when to use the API, what are the expected inputs and outputs, and also helps you to think it through as well, gives you a bit of context to remember, okay, this is how I want it to work. And so it works for both human and bot as well. And as I say, I have shared these as there's quite a bit of text because it is a learning material, but just to make you aware that it's available. We've got the kind of the breakdown of what I've just showed you. So you want to specify the purpose, really clearly stating what the purpose of of the particular tool is, and some functions, some formatting to help you write that correctly. And then we also kind of define when to use the API to them, and also clear user instructions. But when you come to design your particular API, it can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelming, but breaking it down into these questions might help. Just thinking about, well, what is the purpose of this? What is the flow I'm trying to automate here? What is it I want this AI to be able to do on my behalf? And when should the agent use it? What are the inputs and the outputs, and what happens to those inputs and outputs? What's the process? And also if there's any constraints or limitations. So these questions help you think through your design a little bit more and be able to work with the agent a bit more effectively. We know that by providing the agent with a task that has very clear kind of outline of what you want means that you don't use so many changes, so many commits, and you also have a better quality outcome as well. So it does help to plan ahead and think it through. And so on the repo, there's the GitHub repo that I showed you. You have these plug and play templates, which I hope will expand as us as a community can share with each other. And it does provide like a task instruction example, which I'm kind of working on a bit more. And Gian, I'm sure you'll have a really good one for this. But it's just helping the agent to be able to create these tools for you, these APIs, using the kind of the best practice standards of making sure that the tool can be used as required, and as you designed it as well. So with the GitHub repo, on the README page, you've got these examples. It explains how you add them. Just simply create a new API, copy and paste the code, and your agent will be able to access this tool. And I've also put whatever's in these slides, these questions that I mentioned, they're in there as well to help guide you, as well as how to provide a task to the agent, which is currently being designed, but this had worked for me quite well. And then best practices for API documentation. So I'm really hoping you guys have, some really good resources here that can help you get started. And the template, as we say, just gives you this ability to very low effort go in, test it out, just see how it feels, add an API, experiment with it. And as part of this as well, we are also running a competition. So what we're going to have is this will be open until Monday next week, and all you need to do is click on the template link, create your API, test it in the MCP playground, and then submit your entry on social media. And prizes at the moment, we've got some Databutton merchandise for the top 3 use cases, and we've got 50 credits for everybody who participates. And then so part of the entry is just to submit it on social media of your choice, use the Databutton tag, and that means that what we can have is all of the examples compiled together, because they can get lost sometimes on Discord, and I don't want you guys to miss out or anyone to be missed on this. So If you pop it over there and just kind of talk about like your use case, what is it that it's helping you do? Because I mean, everyone's learning at the moment. This is very much a brand new area that we all want to understand a bit more. And I think by seeing each other's creations and seeing what you can do with it, it's going to be mind blowing. I know that, and I can't wait to see what you guys can build. So there's some kind of inspiration here of things you could potentially build, like I know AI powered email assistant. So connecting you can have it as like a personal assistant. I think that's something I want to build for myself. I have quite bad ADHD, so my brain can be really, really unorganized sometimes. So it's just being able to create tools for myself, maybe that I could, make myself more organized. But then, of course, this particular feature, yes, it can help me, but it could also be a really good business solution if you imagine that being implemented for some of your customers and clients as a feature in your particular application. Financial insights and forecasting. I know a lot of you guys are really hot on this area and super expertise. So I'd love to see this one built out in some way. And then also being able to perform kind of deep research for you. We've got the DuckDuckGo to get you started, but the creativity here is about being able to get the tool to potentially do iterations, multiple search, multiple either concurrent tool searches, research. Sorry, my brain's gone a bit. Concurrent search, internet search, or be able to pause, stop, and do another step if needed. So that is one that's going to be super powerful, of being able to perform deep research for you and really generate an amazing report out of that. So yeah, there's some kind of ideas there on what you could do. And I have noticed, Explorer, you mentioned about the slides. So these are available. I'm just going to find the link super quick in the resource hub. Just dropping that now. And you'll find them in this particular tab or post. You've got all the ones from yesterday, and you've also got these from today as well. So yeah, I mean, let's see, has anyone got a prompt they want me to try? An API they want me to make? Let's see what we can do. Has anything inspired anyone yet? Read Outlook email. Yeah, so that one right now, we're live, might be a bit tricky because I'd have to set up my...
I think, I really wanted to add this.
Yeah.
To use recent to send email via MCP and MCP client side, which maybe we can use a lot for that. And that's something which I was thinking of a nice demo, which I'm working on right now for a video, so that it gets a bit clear, but it will be out tomorrow, hopefully. Let's do that. But yeah, this was great. Okay, thank you so much for this. This is fantastic. And yeah, the part which I said, we are running a competition for the next let's say, we are planning to launch it on Product Hunt probably on Sunday, if I'm not wrong, if things goes well. And we're trying to run a competition there. So we have a lot of new Databutton merch coming in. I would love to give out to everyone, and especially to the 3 use cases. If someone comes up with, it will be fantastic. And we really would love to see some business solutions, some use cases which you guys can come up with MCP. And that's why I just wrote to Jian from the team that if he can show his use case, how he, in the morning, he built something with Notion integration. I don't know if that he's gonna show, but as actually, Jian, are you here already? So he built something already with Claude connected with Databutton API. And I think that would be really a nice use case to get some inspiration on submitting some fantastic use case over socials. Would love to see that. Plus, if you guys really post it over there and tag us, would love to give free credits out for everyone who is trying it out, because we are still polishing this MCP as much as possible. It's nothing but it's a backend which is hosting our MCP server, and then MCP is connected with the client side. Everything will become much more clear as we run through a few more examples, and that we'll do over the next coming few days. So yeah, please try it out and let us know. And meanwhile, I just ask Gian if he can show us how he has been using MCP with Claude